It had been an uneventful few months of Sodor, not since the revelation of my history with Constantine and Springer, who I since destroyed, avenging the death of my love Katrina. For the rest of the year I sought counseling from Mickey the rescue engine. He and Joey knew that I needed all the help I could ever need. However, one September day would be a day I would want to forget, one that would take me back to my days on the other railway. Good day, engines. I understand it has been a rather unusual sort of year. Thank goodness things are starting to normalize after the... Sir? Let's not mention it, please. Oh, yes, right. Fourth wall break, foreshadowing. Thank you, Gordon. Anywho, the other railway has been short-staffed of engines, and will need to assist in any way can. How, sir? I don't follow. I mean, we don't follow, sir. Connection passenger services may require assistance, yes. Scotsman Big City Engine and the City of Truro are all busy over on the mainland with their excursions, but the engines that reside at Rickerstown will need... So, in other words, sir, we need to help the engines on the other railway? Sorry to interrupt, sir. It's all right, James. Basically, we need to help all the engines with their trains without going over there. That is the agreement I have in place with the controller on the other railway. Should there be any of us engines that go there must either reside for the night or come back to Vickerstown to rest there for the night. The diesels, sir. What if... Percy? The diesels over there, I know, they are, hostile to all steam engines. However, most of the diesels on the island have learned from their old ways. Diesel 10, for example, after he helped save the airport in 2005, thanks to our #1 engine. Salty Mavis and Boca are nice diesels too, sir. Ever since they arrived, they have been a really key part of the island's strong success through the years. Although I have sent some diesels away, who I won't mention by name, I know very well that they have changed over time, and have learned to adapt to the change. Anyways, engines, it's best we get started on another busy day. We cannot keep the goods and passengers waiting now. And Sir Topham Hatt walked back to his office. Brandon? You seem silent. Is everything okay? It's nothing, Edward. Really, it isn't. I see. But secretly, I was hiding a deep, dark secret, one not knowing that my nightmare I would have to relive in the future. The day was busy as usual. Gordon pulled the express to Vickerstown. There he met a diesel engine he hadn't seen before. He collected the coaches and went on his way to Barrow. The diesel was silent, but like Bear, very polite, and his engine would make a growling sound. Wow, Gordon, that engine is, well... If you say revolutionary, I swear to Sir Nigel Gresley... I was going to say that engine was, well, interesting. Sheesh, Gordon, I've moved on from that nonsense that was the old me. I see. Meanwhile, I was busy as usual taking my two faithful coaches, Angela and Marcus, to the other end of the line. There I could see Sir Topham Hatt talking to Thomas. Thomas, I need you and Murdoch to take supplies, goods, and a load of scrap to the other railway. They're in short supply of fuel needed for the machines, torches, and the engines that run the line. Of course, sir, right away. But what about us, sir? Will we have to stay the night? It's quite possible, but I suggest you and Thomas be on your way. The train is ready and waiting. Thomas and Murdoch coupled onto the train and made their way to the other railway. It was an uneventful journey, that is until they reached their destination. When they arrived, they uncoupled from the cars and were about to make it back to Barrow when one of the diesels blocked their way. Let us through! If you're stuck on revolutionizing and whatnot, then I suggest you let us pass before we tell your controller. Tell our controller? He'll never cooperate with steam engines. Dr. Beechin did a fine job when he took power. So what do you say, you two? A fine night before you're scrapped? We'll do just wonders. Buffer them! The next day Sir Topham Hatt awoke to the presence of Mickey and Joey, who were waiting outside his office. Mickey? Joey? What are you doing here? What's going on? Thomas and Murdoch. They haven't returned. Do you know anything of this, sir? I told both engines to take a train to the other railway and then return to Barrow to rest for the night. Well, they're not at Barrow. Sir, it concerns me to tell you that they could be on the other railway, somewhere or further away. Right. Conduct an investigation at once. We'll soon put things right. Soon the island were growing concerned for Thomas and Murdoch, but some of the others were quick to draw conclusions. Those pesky diesels, I knew it. How can you know they kidnapped them when in fact they well were not? They could have gotten lost on the way, or better yet decided to rest somewhere we are not aware of. They could have not gone on a cruise. You're lucky, Diesel. If Diesel 10 heard that, you would have been in trouble. Arg, matey. Our men would be brought afloat. We just need to hoist anchor and set sail for the mainland. At Croven's Gate, Boko was dropping off passengers to Rusty when he had an idea. Wait a minute, Rusty. Remember when you rescued Stepney? Yes, I do, and believe me, Boko, ever since my heroics, security has tightened, so it must be convincing to save Thomas and Murdoch. While Boko and Rusty discussed their plan, there was another train destined for the other railway. I volunteered to take the train, though at the time I wish I didn't. Then a dart shot to the trucks, and I was ready to go. Good luck, Brandon. Hopefully you will, What he means is you will hopefully have a safe journey. Thanks, you two. Must be off. I was racing to get there and back to Sodor in time. I arrived at the same place as Thomas and Murdoch. I saw them. They were terrified. They were about to be shunted into the smelting sheds, awaiting to be cut up. I was uncoupled and had raced to help my friends. Ah, Brandon. And where do you think you're going? You let my friends go. You're stuck in the past. Twisted and sick you are. Haven't you learned? Well, most and not all diesels on Sodor have learned from their ways. So I suggest you let my friends go, or I will do so by force. Fat chance. Now you're not going anywhere. So what's in it for you, Brandon? Us diesels scrapping 3 or sparing 1 and letting these 2 die? You have underestimated me. Where did he go? Find him. I swear, sir, I haven't seen he means he hasn't seen Brandon since he left with those trucks, and that does it. I am going over there and ending this right now. Should we all come with you? No, Paxton. You stay and help shunt the trucks here. Boko, let's... Sir, I have an idea. And Boko explained to Sir Top Hat about his plan. Very well. It won't be easy, but it's worth every risk we'll take. Let's head to Croven's Gate and meet up with Rusty. When they arrived, they set their plan to action. Good luck, Rusty. Teach those scallywags a thing or two. We'll do our best.
Go get them, Rusty and Baka.
When they arrived, they had already joined the party. A diesel that they had never met before was standing silent and on guard. Boko approached the engine. Who are you? We, if you'll shed and siding inspection diesels. Nice try. That's not even original. We're not inspection diesels. Our constants we delivered need to be returned. There was a mistake in the delivery. The diesel, sensing skepticism from Boko, pondered. You may proceed. Good job, Boko. But our work is far from done. Show yourself, Brandon. We could play this game all night. Help us, Brandon, before the fires consume us all. Ah! Brandon, you came. The Chris Scrapazole, please help us. Don't worry, you two. I have an idea. Get behind me. Okay, what are you doing? On the count of 3, we're going to teleport. Oh, no, you don't. Teleport, Pa. Since when can an engine? 1, 2, 3. What the? We did it! We did it! Yahoo! Way to go, Brandon! Yes! Thank you, guys. Now it's time to go. You're not going anywhere. Oh, dear. Stop, all of you right here. The yard was silent. Now, just what in the bluey world are you doing? So Top-O-Mat had 3 of his engines and supplies that are essential for not only the yards here, but across the mainland. You're clearly stuck in the past. Yes, I know you're trying to adapt, but the point is, you really are causing confusion and delay. Sorry for stealing your line, sir. No worries. Anyways, you will unhand my engines, or we will take drastic actions to make sure they're freed. I may be a nice diesel, but I can get very cross. I used to work with diesels like you, but it seems it's not your luckiest day. Thinking of scrappy steam engines? What about us diesels? Do you stop to think of yourselves every now and then? We diesels are as equally useful as steam engines, so what do you say? Do you feel lucky? Do you feel really lucky, punks? As for you lot, you will work twice as hard to make it up for the mess up you caused. I hope it will teach you a lot to not to treat visiting engines poorly, especially for the shit I was put through all those years ago. The yard was dead silent after I said that. What do you mean by that, Brandon? Shortly after my stint on the LDR, I was sent to work for a while at a scrapyard on the other railway. But it wasn't this one. It was MC Metals. The diesels there were cruel, vile, and devious. One even tricked me on taking me to an abandoned part of the line. The controller blamed me for it even though it wasn't my fault. It was then I had to get out of there. I was not destined for scrap, but I knew I had to leave soon. I soon made my plan in the middle of the night. My driver wrote a note saying we were needed on another part of the mainland and thanking the yards for his services to them. The note was placed inside the sheds. My firemen stoked the fire, and we quietly puffed away. When we went as far as we could away from the exits, we made a run for it. Unfortunately, when the controller found the note, he was not impressed. He sent several diesels to find me. Luckily, they were stopped by BR Control and the police, thanks to my driver putting in a good word. After that, I felt free from their grasp and was soon working away on the mainland for a short while before finally making my way to Sodor, where I spent the rest of my days here and forever now. Now you see, Thomas and Murdoch, why I was felt emotional, upset. Damn it, this is like the last time. I knew that person, the controller at MC Metals. He was a bad man, had a terrible habit of smoking, or he shouldn't be. Let me tell you this, you didn't kill him, sir, did you? No, I didn't kill him. Let's just say karma got the better of him. After he smoked what ultimately was the last cigar of his life, let's just say he had a very big fall. Did he? No, he did not kill himself. He was on a freight train late for a meeting, and well, he was going to have a word with the driver of the engine, but a faulty coupling caused the brake van and the last several cars to become a runaway. The guard jumped clear the moment it happened, but the runaway cars derailed and plunged into the ravine below, killing him instantly. The rolling stock was hoisted a day later. The remains of the controller were found, and upon his autopsy, concluded that he had a heart attack before impact. That reminds me of when Toby put Station Master Jeffries at his place, causing him to have a heart attack. A nice fourth wall break, sir. That's Victor Tanzig's universe. Well, sorry, Thomas, Brandon had to use the respawn button to bring it back to life, sir. That's another story, Murdoch. Getting back on track. I am glad we solved this, hopefully. Hopefully this does not happen again. And thank you for telling us once more, Brandon. Hopefully we won't have to go through this scenario for a third time this year. Indeed, sir. There is also something you should know about, sir. What would that be? An engine who tried to escape from scrap was found out and, well, he met the cutter's torch. Oh dear. Oh God. What was he like, and what was his name? He was one of Gordon's siblings. Gordon won't like that, losing another forgotten member of his kind. I suggest, sir, that we head to Vickerstown for the night and get some rest. Good call, Brandon. Engines, it's time to go home. We don't have to, and we won't have to worry anymore about situations like this, hopefully, for a long while. I led the engines back to Vickerstown. There, Duck and the Flying Scotsman were resting in the yards. After we settled in, Sir Topham had addressed the situation. We had a trying time against violent diesels. With our persuasion, we taught them that once again, steam and diesel are equally really useful. Though we had learned more of ourselves, Brandon included, I'll say, that even though we all made it out, I truly wish we all truly made it. Whatever do you mean, sir? I see all you have made it back safely. Sir Topham had explained what happened to one of Gordon's long-lost brothers. Flying Scotsman was horrified. I thought the Diesels would have learned by now, but I won't resent. Because of this, I'll honor his memory in the best way possible, though I bet Gordon will not like the news when I tell him. I can understand the feeling, Scotsman. However, I'll say that despite everything, I am glad we all pulled through, because that is the Sodorian way of dealing with conflict. But I don't understand something. What's that, Thomas? Yes, that controller at that scrapyard was gone, but what about those diesels that worked there? Whatever happened to them? After my escape, a majority of them were reassigned to other parts of the mainland, while others remained at the scrapyard, still working at that sweatshop. A new controller was appointed to oversee operations, but he was more tentative and unfortunately did not have any, certain habits of his, like his predecessor did. Imagine Diesel 10 in that setting. That claw of his would do half the work in no time. That's the thing. Diesel 10 did work there a long time ago, shortly after he had his claw installed at him. That was when the Bogostins were still around, and... Sir, what's wrong? The Bogostins? I don't understand. Phil Bogostin was destroyed a year ago, and... Thank you, Brandon. It's just that I'll tell you the rest another time. It's best we get some rest. One by one, all the engines fell asleep, reflecting on a wild journey on the other railway. Brandon? Whoa, Edward. Did I oversleep, or is everyone... Sir Topham is giving everyone, including you, the day off from last night's ordeal. I say, Brandon, why didn't you tell me? I admit, Edward, there are some rare times where I have been, secretive of certain events, and already we have witnessed 2 of these said events. My rivalry with Constantine Springer, and your rivalry with a certain group of diesels. Even with... Now, Brandon, you still have 2020 in you. This is 2021. And those pair of diesels Sir Topham had sent away a long while ago. He did. I thought that... Give it time, Brandon. And eventually, who knows? Perhaps one day things will work itself out. You're right. I know things take time, and they will work themselves out. Thank you, Edward. It's my pleasure, Brandon. Now let's get some rest. You've had a trying night. Edward was right. Everyone, including myself, was tired, but we didn't want to push ourselves, so we rested all night. Flying Scotsman was still in mourning over the loss of his brother that tried to escape. Gordon, I don't know what to say. The sheer arrogance of those diesels. They must pay for their crimes. I am sure that they have, Scotsman. However, he was the curious type. I agree with you, Gordon. He was, shall we say, an interesting type. Didn't want you to break the 4th wall there. Me breaking the 4th wall? Preposterous. I wouldn't do such a thing. It's a crime against humanity, Scotty. Oh, that Gordon. Did he roast you back there, Scotsman? Brotherly banter never upsets me, Toby. Say, I'm sorry you lost another brother. Sadly, I did hear you lost another brother. Even worse. I must get Gordon back here before... Scotsman? Gordon already knows. You see, I'll explain, Toby. Listen, Flying Scotsman, another one of your brothers, he, was scrapped. Not because of the cutter's torch, or Blackwater. I destroyed him with a railgun. It had to be done. Don't worry, Sir Topham had planned this a while back. He didn't want to tell you for fear of interfering and trying to protest to spare him. But what's done is done. Joey and Mickey know that by the law of an engine, committing a crime, he must face a punishment that is so severe as Railgate. We are truly sorry, Flying Scotsman. It's all right, Brandon. And to be honest, Gordon told me about him, and he, was quite the celebrity until fame and fortune got the better of him. With both of them. I agree, but let's not dwell on this matter any further. Besides, don't you have a train to take in 5 minutes? Oh my goodness, thanks for reminding me, Brandon. I'll get to the platform right away and... Wait a minute. How did I end up here? Simple. Magic. Thank you, Brandon. Your magic has paid off wonders for me in my timetable. Best be off for the mainland awaits. There's a few policemen that will be on scheduled trains to the mainland after what happened with Brandon, Thomas, and Murdoch. In order to regain the trust of the Diesels at the scrapyard over on the other railway, we must let them figure it out themselves. Otherwise, it will be more than a hefty fine coming their way. All reports will come to both me and Mickey daily. Should there be any activity, one or both of us will go over there and deal with the situation ourselves. Not to say that our favorite little engine Thomas was a hero once again. It was everyone involved, Inspector Joey. Don't worry, Brandon here saved us all. You always find a way to get through things no matter what, Brandon. Good work. Thank you, Joey. That's Inspector Joey to you. But where's your, go-go gadgets if you can say only traveled by rail, officer? The yards bursted in a fit of laughter after my remark. You got roasted big time, Joey. That is very funny indeed, Brandon. Never change, mate. Anyways, have a good one, and stay out of trouble. We don't want to be rescuing engines from the scrapyards on a nightly basis. As both Joey and Mickey puffed away, Boko pulled alongside. You see, Brandon, Rusty had the idea the whole time of, well, rescuing you and the others, much like when we rescued Stepney all those years ago. Wow, that's amazing. I bet Stepney was well more self-conscious after his incident with Ari and Bert. He was, until they made it up to him, but that's another story in itself. Indeed. Engines, I am proud of all of you. Despite the mishap on the other railway, we have gone far ahead on some of our timetables. That doesn't mean, however, we will be going on strike of shunting our own trains now. But in all seriousness, I am proud of all my engines, who bravely went to this other railway and saved Thomas, Murdoch, and Brandon on number 35, the Prime of Sodor. Prime of Sodor? But, sir, Boris Johnson is our Prime Minister, and he is. But that's not what I was referring to. Then what were you referring to, sir? It's nothing. I'll tell you another time. Or Brandon will when the time is right. Something tells me we will experience World War III again in the future. Button it, James. Anyways, back on track, no pun intended. I am pleased we accomplished this feat. The railway board is impressed, and the passengers have had no complaints whatsoever. Guess I'll be pulling the Kipper Express very soon. Don't remind me, Henry. That mix-up was that bloody Shutter's fault. After all, he did get fired after that mistake. Oh, indeed he did, Gordon, but don't worry, that was 3 years ago. Now focusing on the present matter at hand. Richard is in the works, and won't be able to return to service until the end of the year. So I entrust my finest engines to do their duties as well as their own until Richard comes back. The engines all agreed in unison. Sir, why are you looking into the sun? It's nothing, Edward, really. I understand, sir. And Sir Topham turned on his heel and walked away. Everyone, I am happy to have saved my friends once again. To have made a huge difference in saving the world once more. I am proud as a responsible, reliable, and really useful engine that I was able to maintain peace and rid of the final demons of my past once more. At least you, well, did not show your dark side. Springer and Constantine are already in hell regretting their mistakes. They deserve to rot in hell for not only scarring me for life, but killing my girl. I hate to be the one asking, but will you find someone else in your life? I know Katrina can't be replaced, and thank you, Percy. And when that time comes, I'll be ready once again for the biggest wheel turns in my lifetime. Couldn't put it better myself, Brandon. The engines soon rested after a hard day's work. What Sir Topham had said about them being ahead of schedule felt like a true accomplishment. The next day, everyone was hard at work. Trains ran up and down the line. Passengers and goods traveled back and forth, though the huge emphasis was on the forth than the back, because that is how a certain station master put it best, looking at you. Anyways, as the engines ran up and down the line, I was pulling Angela and Marcus up the main line. We chatted away, reminisced on the past, and even took a stroll on Thomas's branch line, even though it wasn't in our timetable back at Nafford. Sir Thomas was thinking to himself, it's coming. The reformatting is coming. It should strike any month, any day, any minute. As I ponder what to do, no, I don't consider retiring anytime soon. I don't even consider much change to the railway despite what's happened. Regardless, I am pleased with how the railway is doing. Easy decisions had to be made with the dismissal of 2 engines in my fleet. Railgate will serve them justice until I see fit. I will personally confidently say they truly... What the... Oh, yes, come in. Ah, thank you very much. The mail. I almost forgot about silly old me. Thank you, Percy. You're welcome, sir, but... Sir, you may want to read the letter. It's, very exciting. How so, Percy? Wait, Percy, come back here. Oh, bother, left in suspense. Who could the letter be from? If it's from Her Majesty... No, that was earlier this year when the Duke of Edinburgh passed away. I mean, it could be... Ah! Shit! Andy, you! It was only a joke, sir. Some jokes are funny. But that, I will admit, is funny now. Run along and fetch your coaches, James, and the passengers can't be kept waiting. Of course, sir. Good job, Andy. All right. This letter now, who could it be from and... Oh, no. I must assemble the engines here at once. And so Sir Topman did. So by day's end, he made the important announcement. Engines, I received a letter from far away. It turns out multiple news outlets wants to interview us about, well... About what, sir? Our experiences with the Transformers and how we came across them in the first place. That I am so looking forward to, sir, but it could lead to something much bigger. Though I said that thought to myself, I couldn't imagine all the questions that would be asked to us. In deep space, however, a great threat that was thought to be destroyed was lurking in the darkness. But that's a story for another day.